Brother,
MMA. I mean, you cannot even compare the heavyweight division in boxing to the UFC. Kickboxing, whatever combat sports we're talking about, it's in shambles right now, and they're in desperate times. You got Jon Jones, who beat Cyril Gane to become the champion, but that win has aged like milk, because Cyril Gane has turned out to become one of the most disappointing fighters ever. But we'll get back to that later on in this video. Jon Jones has blatantly avoided fighting Tom Aspinall, who is the interim heavyweight champion. Jones would rather fight Stipe Miocic, who was way past his prime and is now retired. Jones would rather fight Alex Pereira, who is an easy matchup for him stylistically. He would rather fight Jamal Hill or Derek Lewis.
And I want to fight for fun, fighting guys that I stylistically want to fight against. You know, just random fights. You know, like you know, Jamal Hill. Me and him meet up at 220 and see what happens. That'd be interesting to see. Let's just see what happens. Derek Lewis, the biggest knockout puncher in history. I'm just throwing out random names. What the fuck is that?
Jones is pretty much being a diva and has been chased for a while now to legitimately defend his belt. Jon Jones is not an undisputed champion because the division has Tom Aspinall, and Jones has literally said he doesn't want to fight someone young and upcoming and in their prime, which is one of the most ridiculous things a champion can say, especially coming from Jon Jones, who is, till this date, the youngest person to become champion ever, which means he was given that opportunity, but he doesn't want to do the same thing for anybody upcoming. Straight up said he's ducking.
He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me, and that's my own personal. He annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that you money, honestly, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Or else, my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation.
oh brother, this guy stinks!
Now, speaking of Tom Aspinall, in all of combat sports, there has never been a case where the heavyweight and interim heavyweight champion are both defending their belts simultaneously, and they're not fighting each other. They're defending their belts against other people in the division.
What?
Tom Aspinall is in a state where he's between begging Jon Jones to fight him and make the biggest fight ever, at least in that weight class, or probably in the UFC.
About Jon Jones a lot, because in all honesty, I'm sick of talking about it myself. I have spoke to the UFC on multiple occasions about this fight. I'm chasing it up. I want the fight. I've been on record and said that I want the fight. I've been on the phone with the UFC saying that I want the fight. When's it happening?
Maybe one day. Hope so, man.
Cyril Gane, who is still the #1 contender, somehow, after absolutely shitting the bed in his fight against Jon Jones and getting submitted in round 1. Mind you, Gane was focused on playing FIFA games the week before facing arguably the GOAT of MMA.
No, yes,
I talked about this.
Also because
I hear that Cyril Gane's soccer team, his online team is ranked top 60 in the world. I'm sitting here focusing on combat. He's out here playing video games.
Just ridiculous. This man then beat Sergey Spivak, who is below in the rankings, and compared to most fighters, pretty much a mid fighter, okay, no offense. He then avoids Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blaydes, Jailton Almeida.
You know, I thought they were going to bring Tom Aspinall into the cage. Did you expect that to face off with you?
yeah, I heard some word before the fight. But yeah, the division now, but you see, it's not easy to manage this division, for real. You have a big level now. This is a new era for the heavyweight division, and you have some big movement. We're waiting for a big battle fight with two GOATs. Tired. So for me, the good way is to go back. It was my mission tonight to shining, to prove I'm still here and I want to go back to the belt.
Tom Aspinall becomes the interim champion. Gane then tries to sneak his name into the contender conversation. But Aspinall, Blayeds, and Almeida are not having it. They all called him out on it for being a duck as well.
It doesn't work out. If he chooses to do something crazy, maybe waits for the winner. I mean, is there anything else that makes sense to you?
Nope. It won't be. I feel like you guys are all trying to edge me towards Gane. That's not happening. I asked for him already in the past. He missed that bus.
Dismissed me on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Cyril didn't want it. He then ducked Curtis Blaydes. I just don't like the way he does stuff professionally, because that's the opposite to what I do. I'm here to prove I'm the best, not duck out of fights with people.
Gane then faces Alexander Volkov, who is pretty much in a career resurgence. But then, even though Gane was the favorite in that fight, he gets a clear loss against Volkov. But then the judges somehow rob Volkov of his win and gifts a robbery win to Cyril Gane. Mind you, Cyril Gane was acting in a movie before his fight with Volkov. So for such a fighter like Gane, who has so much potential, playing FIFA before facing Jon Jones, acting movies before facing Volkov, throwing heel hooks when he absolutely has no chance of pulling that off because he's a kickboxer if we're trying to pinpoint his skill set. But for some reason, he just randomly throws heel hooks. Ridiculous. Alright, Cyril Gane has turned out to be one of the UFC's most disappointing fighters.
Damn.
Gatekeepers like Jairzinho Rozenstruik are getting cut. He's too good for upcoming guys to get passed by, and he's too bad to beat anyone above him. Alright, and probably too expensive since he's not really the most exciting fighter. Curtis Blaydes is turning into the new gatekeeper. The problem is he gatekeeps a little too well. He's lost to Tom Aspinall and Pavlovich, so it's hard for him to even imagine a state where he's in a title run. Another weird situation for another fighter. Now, Jailton Almeida is another fighter with really great potential, honestly, right? Was undefeated for a while, but has of course lost to Curtis Blaydes. He has clearly proven to be in a higher level than all the fighters below him in the rankings, so his career is also in a weird state. And then we have fighters like Sergey Spivak and Marcin Tybura, who it seems like all they're good for is occupying space in the middle of the division. They don't move up, they don't move down, just occupying that middle, making it even more chaotic.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Derek Lewis is down there as well. At least he still gives us exciting knockouts and moments in the octagon and is a fan favorite. Fighting for excitement. I don't think Derek Lewis is someone who imagines himself being a champion. Okay, so he's accepted his role. That's kind of a good thing. And then you got Tai Tuivasa. Oh god. He used to be a fan favorite as well, but this man is currently on a 5-fight losing streak and is somehow ranked number 10 in the division. I mean, that just shows you how terrible this weight class is. I don't understand how Rozenstruik was cut, but Tuivasa is still in the UFC. It's so weird. Like, I mean, I guess a knockout once in a while and doing shoeies is more valuable than boring decision and sometimes finishing your opponents.
Brother,
What makes it funnier is the fact that Tai's last fight ended in a loss against Rozenstruik, but somehow they caught Rozenstruik, and Tai, who's on a 5-fight losing streak, is still number 10 in the division.
What?
I do not understand it, man. I mean, the heavyweight division is in a terrible state right now and needs to be revamped or reorganized in some way. They really need a purge. They need to cleanse this division. They need to burn it and start it all over again, honestly.
He's out of line, but he's right.
The UFC needs to push the new guys upward faster because it needs new faces. But if I'm being honest, it seems like they are already on that path, as fighters like Kennedy Nzechukwu, Taliesin Teixeira, Mario Pinto are on the come up, and those guys, they kind of have potential, right? But they haven't really proven themselves yet, and hopefully they can climb the rankings quickly. They do need to hurry up and make a matchup between those guys and the top of the division, because honestly speaking, the way it's been going, you're not going to be able to pass the middle unless it's some special situation. I do not think Jon Jones versus Aspinall will ever happen.
Maybe one day. Hope so, man.
If I'm being honest, I've lost all hope in that fight. But even if he does, Jon Jones beating Tom Aspinall will be the worst thing that can ever happen. It will put it even more in a disarray, because someone who's supposed to be the new face of the heavyweight division, who by the way Dana White for some reason just does not promote, then gets defeated by Jon Jones, who is clearly not even taking this whole thing serious and just destroying this weight class, honestly speaking. But on the other hand, even if Tom Aspinall wins, I don't know where the division goes from there, because he's clearly better than the rest. I guess they just have to make a bunch of rematches. But like I said, I really think the solution is pushing the upcoming guys faster than they're supposed to. Honestly, it's a 50-50, because they'll either get absolutely destroyed or outperform, which is the best case scenario. And then the final, most complicated and messed up thing is, at the end of the day, no matter who the champion is, the lineal heavyweight champion is still Francis Ngannou, who is no longer in the UFC due to the UFC fumbling the bag. Francis never lost the belt and left the organization to become the champion in the PFL, which makes him the lineal champion. And Dana White would rather cut off his legs than have a co-promotion fight with Francis, or even sign Francis back to the UFC. That is just not happening as long as Dana White is in that organization. Damn. The weight class is in shambles, man, and it unfortunately will be in the same state for a while. Again, I think I've said what the solution should be. It needs an absolute purge. And this is not even me trying to come for these guys. This is just an objective take. I don't think it's a hot take. I think we all know the heavyweight division in the UFC is desperate right now.
I want the fight more than anyone. What is holding it up right now is his side. That's the truth of it. The UFC really want the fight to happen. They've told me that. This is, as I said, this is one of the biggest fights that can be made in MMA right now. UFC tell me, they assure me that they are doing everything they can to make this fight. So it's totally, as far as I'm aware, this is now totally down to Jon Jones and his team to work that out, because I'm in. The UFC are in. They assure me that they desperately want to make the fight every time I speak to them.
Maybe one day. Hope so, man.
But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I exaggerating? Am I overstating things? What do you think about my solution with them pushing the upcoming guys, you know, further than they need to in order to change the face of the heavyweight division right now? Because I don't see any other solution. How do you think the fight against Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones will go, if it ever happens? Do you even think it's gonna happen?
Maybe one day. Hope so, man.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you like the video, please don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.